Did you know that Canada, America's closest neighbor, just issued a rare travel warning for the US, urging its citizens to think twice before visiting cities like Los Angeles? What's going on and why now? Stay tuned, this is big. The Canadian government has issued a bold new travel advisory for the United States, specifically flagging Los Angeles as a high-risk destination. With millions of Canadians crossing the border every year, this warning is sending shockwaves through the tourism industry. Why is Canada sounding the alarm? What does this mean for travelers and the U.S. economy? Let's break it down with the latest facts, expert insights, and what you need to know if you're planning a trip. First up, let's talk about the ripple effect this travel warning could have on Los Angeles, one of America's top tourist destinations. Canada is a massive player in U.S. tourism, sending over 20 million visitors annually, with nearly 600,000 flocking to LA alone in 2022. That's a lot of hotel bookings, restaurant meals, and theme park tickets. But this new advisory, issued on June 11, 2025, is already shaking things up. According to industry reports, high-end hotels in downtown LA, Koreatown, and West Hollywood are seeing cancellation rates as high as 30% since protests intensified. Boutique hotels and Airbnbs are also reporting booking freezes, with some travelers cutting their trips short or rerouting to safer destinations like San Diego or Las Vegas. The Los Angeles Tourism and Convention Board is in full damage control mode, but the numbers don't lie. International visitor spending in California was projected at $166 billion this year, but that's now been slashed to $160 billion, partly due to Canada's pullback. Jeff Liu, a former deputy cabinet secretary for California, told the BBC that international tourism pumps over $24 billion into California's economy annually. A boycott or slowdown from Canadians could hit small businesses, think restaurants, tour guides, and local shops, the hardest. Imagine planning your dream trip to see the Hollywood sign, only to find out your hotel is near a protest zone. It's a tough pill to swallow for an industry still recovering from the pandemic. So, what's driving this warning? Let's dig deeper. The Canadian government isn't mincing words. Their updated advisory, posted on travel.gc.ca, urges citizens to stay away from demonstrations in Los Angeles and other major U.S. cities like Chicago, New York, and Seattle. Since June 6, 2025, large-scale protests have rocked LA, with a nightly curfew from 8 p.m. to 6 a.m. in downtown areas. Additional security forces, including 300 National Guard troops, have been deployed, and more curfews could pop up with little notice, but protests aren't the only concern. Canada's advisory also flags chronic issues in U.S. urban centers: petty crime like pickpocketing and purse snatching, credit card and ATM fraud, and most alarmingly, gun violence. The advisory notes that criminal incidents tied to drug trafficking are especially prevalent near the U.S.-Mexico border, including parts of California. For context, the U.S. has a gun ownership rate of about 120 guns per 100 people, far higher than Canada's 34 per 100. For Canadian travelers used to stricter gun laws, this is a real culture shock. The advisory also warns about rigorous U.S. border screenings, including invasive device searches and the risk of detention for those denied entry. Beyond protests, Canada's advisory highlights a range of issues that could affect travelers. First, there's the risk of violent crime. While petty theft is a concern in tourist-heavy areas, gun violence is a bigger worry. The U.S. sees over 40,000 gun-related deaths annually, compared to Canada's 800, according to the Gun Violence Archive. For Canadians, this stark contrast is a major red flag. Then there's the issue of border enforcement. Since early 2025, reports of Canadians and Europeans being detained or deported at U.S. borders have spiked, even for those with valid visas. Germany and the UK have echoed Canada's warnings about strict entry rules, advising travelers to carry proof of return tickets and legal status. Finally, Canada's advisory touches on natural risks. With LA's history of wildfires and earthquakes, travelers are urged to stay informed about weather alerts and emergency procedures. The U.S. National Hurricane Center also warns of flooding risks in California, which could disrupt travel plans. These layered concerns, crime, border issues, and natural hazards, paint a complex picture for anyone heading to the U.S. The big challenge here is trust. The U.S. has long been seen as a safe, welcoming destination, but these warnings from Canada and other nations are changing that narrative. The $12.5 billion projected loss in tourism revenue this year, according to the World Travel and Tourism Council, is a massive blow. Small businesses, from LA food trucks to Broadway theaters, are feeling the pinch. And with global media amplifying images of unrest, the reputational damage could linger for years. There's also a diplomatic tightrope. Canada's warning risks straining US-Canada relations, especially with Trump's tariff threats looming. For travelers, the question isn't just, is LA safe? But, is the US still the dream destination it used to be? So, what's driving this? The protests stem from deep political divisions fueled by immigration policies and cultural debates. Trump's return to the spotlight has reignited tensions, with his No Kings rally opponents clashing with supporters. These aren't just protests, they're a symptom of a polarized America, and travelers are caught in the crossfire. The effects are already clear: canceled bookings, rerouted flights, and a hit to LA's tourism charm. Looking ahead, experts warn that if unrest continues, more countries could issue warnings, further denting the US's $1 trillion tourism industry. But there's hope. Cities like LA could rebound with targeted campaigns to restore confidence, like Post 9/11 New York. The key? Addressing safety concerns head-on and fostering a more welcoming image. Canada's bold travel warning for the US is a wake-up call. From protests and curfews in Los Angeles to broader concerns about crime, border scrutiny, and natural risks, Canadian travelers are being urged to stay vigilant. This could reshape US tourism, hitting local economies hard and forcing the industry to rethink its approach. Whether you're planning a trip or just watching from afar, this story reminds us how quickly perceptions of safety can change. Thanks for watching our channel. We'll keep you updated as this unfolds. What do you think? Will this warning change your travel plans? Drop a comment below, hit that like button if you found this helpful, and subscribe for more breaking news.